My mom and I are invited to an Indian wedding at the beginning of November. But we don't have anything Indian to wear. Therefore, I decided I'm going to sew our dresses. I got this beautiful sari here from my friends Sharon and Roy. Thank you so much. I love it. Which I'm going to turn into a sari-inspired dress now. Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm a trained fashion designer and seamstress, and my channel Sew You is all about sewing. If you are also crazy about sewing, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell. Also drop a comment and let me know what you think of this video. Let's get started! These are the whole 5.5 meters of sari fabric that I have to play with. I'm so excited to get started. This is my design for the sari-inspired dress. The top is this very short, typical Indian blouse. The blouse will be made out of a black fabric. And then, coming from a big ring on my left shoulder, there will be sari fabric draped across my body. And at the top of the golden ring, there will be more sari fabric that goes over my shoulder and hang across my back, as if it were an actual sari that I pleated and thrown over my shoulder. And then, also coming from the big ring, I want golden chains going across my left arm to the back of the blouse. And for the skirt, I will pleat the fabric so that only the pink color will be on the outside and the blue will come out from underneath the pleats. It's going to be full floor length, very typical Indian lehenga style. I'm starting with the skirt because I'm not quite sure how much fabric I need for the skirt, and the top doesn't need that much, so I'm going to start with the one that needs more fabric. As you can see, the part where the skirt is meant to be of the sari, they already hemmed it. So that's pretty cool because the fabric gets some extra stability. I'm starting by cutting off the plain black fabric. Now I'm measuring the length I want the skirt to be and cutting off the rest at the top. For now I'm just going to cut as far as the hemmed part of the sari. And I'm starting to pleat the fabric. I'm making sure that the pink part of the fabric is on the outside and the blue is hidden beneath the pleats. I'm pleating as much as I need for the skirt to go around my waist, plus some extra allowances. I stitch the pleats into place with the sewing machine. Now I'm measuring the width of the skirt at the hem for the lining that I'm going to sew. The lining doesn't have to be as wide as the skirt, but somewhere in that direction. The skirt has a width of 2.6 meters. I'm cutting the lining into 4 pieces in order to save some fabric. I'm working without a pattern for the lining and just directly drawing it with chalk onto the fabric. Once I've cut out one piece, I'm using this as a pattern for the other 3 pieces. It worked out really well. I only had to cheat a few centimeters for the last piece. But never mind, I'm sure nobody will notice. I sewed the 4 pieces together, leaving only one seam open. That's the side seam where the zipper is going to go. I'm hemming the lining with my overlock machine. That's called a rolled hem. It's super easy and very fast. Love it. My skirt turned out to be a bit wider than what the makers of the sari had anticipated for the skirt. I can just use a leftover piece of the lining to add it to the hem. I'm pinning the side seams and the waist of the skirt to the lining and sewing it together with the biggest stitch on my sewing machine. Ah gosh, I'm wearing braces and every time I have to say stitch, I feel like I'm just lisping my way through this. It's hilarious. Now you might wonder, what are these 4 rectangles for? Well, thing is, I absolutely love a skirt or a dress with pockets. So of course my sari-inspired dress needs pockets, so I can carry my cell phone and a tissue with me and whatever else. So these rectangles are for 2 piped pockets that I'm going to hide underneath the pleats of the skirt. So you won't even see them from the outside. Genius! I'm drawing a pattern for the pocket using my hand so I can see what size it needs to be. And yes, I need big pockets. I mean, what's the use of small ones? I hate it when I can only put half of my fingers into a pocket. Seriously? That's useless. And this is what the finished pockets look like. Well hidden underneath the pleats. It's time to sew an invisible zipper into the side seam. For the waistband, I'm ripping 2 stripes of fabric. I'm ripping the fabric because then the stripes are exactly on the grain. I'm cutting a stripe of blue fabric to go on the outside of the waistband and sewing everything together. Now I'm realizing that actually I don't like a blue waistband, so I'm starting over and doing the same thing again with the pink fabric. That's better, now I like it. For the rope, I'm using 2 shoelaces that I already have at home. I'm tying them together and pulling them through the tunnel. I'm adding some pearls and knotting the ends. Now I can adjust the waistband to fit my body. The skirt is done. Now I'm starting with the blouse. For the top, I'm using a pattern that I drew to my measurements a few years back. It's a basic pattern that can be used for corsage as well. I copied it onto a new piece of paper, and now I'm changing it to my liking. I'm relocating the bust dart into the side seam and drawing a princess seam. I'm also shortening the whole top. I'm drawing a pretty neckline and shoulder strap. Same thing for the back pattern. And this is what my finished pattern pieces look like. It's time to cut them out of fabric. For the top, I'm using a cotton satin fabric. I'm cutting each piece twice, or 4 times if you will, for the lining of the blouse. I'm sewing the darts and the princess seam. I decided that I want the back neckline lower, so I'm cutting off some fabric. I held the front piece onto my body and saw that I can refine the front neckline as well. I sewed together the shoulder seams, and I am now sewing the necklines to turn them. Now I can also turn the armholes. Time for a check on the tailor's dummy. I want to see if my idea of the draped fabric looks good, or if I have to change something about the design right now. I'm also deciding where I want to position the golden ring. I'm cutting the fabric into suitable pieces. Back to the tailor's dummy. Now I have an idea. Maybe it will look good to include the big golden ring with the chains on the back of the blouse. It does look kinda cool, but I think I'll stick to my original design. I'm cutting the strap where the golden ring goes. And yes, this also for me is a very nerve-wracking moment, even after having designed and sewn many dresses before. And I'm sewing the ring into place by hand. I'm cutting the piece of fabric that's going to go on the top of the ring and hanging down my left shoulder. I'm cutting it into a sort of triangle form so that I don't have that much fabric at the front where the ring is, but I still have the width at the back. I'm arranging it nicely and sewing it into place by hand. So far so good. Time to drape the fabric at the front of the blouse. I'm pinning it into place. Now that I'm happy with the design, I'm stitching it into place where the ring is. My original design was to cut off the fabric where the blouse ends. However, now that I'm looking at it, I really like it when it hangs down. I think I'm going to pleat it and sew it into place and just leave it there. I haven't sewn the fabric yet where the blouse ends, so I can just carefully take it away, place it to the side, and measure the hem of the blouse. I'm cutting stripes to hem it nicely. And I'm pulling an elastic through to make the fit even better. It's time to sew in the invisible zipper in the left side seam. I'm checking on the drape again and making last minor changes. I'm stitching the fabric in place by hand. I'm making sure not to stitch down the drape completely so that it stays in place, but it still looks like it naturally flows across my body. I decided that I want the gold chain across my back instead of my left shoulder, as I had planned originally. I changed this in the design because I thought that golden chains might be a bit hidden beneath the fabric that flows over my left shoulder. I think it will be more of an eye-catcher on my back. And quite honestly, looking at it now, I don't think the chains are that necessary or even a perfect fit because the gold is slightly different than that from the fabric. But at this point I don't really care because I'm just so fond of the golden chains across my back that I really want them there. So they're staying. It is time to bedazzle the dress. Yay! I'm adding some glitter to the right neckline of the blouse and also on the pink parts across the dress. Not too much, but I do want to sparkle a bit. For bedazzling, I have this great tool that heats up the glue on the back side of the glitter and then sticks it to the fabric. I've had it for more than 15 years. It still works and I absolutely love that tool. When the last glitter is glued to the dress, it is finally finished. May I present to you the finished sari-inspired dress. I am really happy with the result. I think it looks a bit like a traditional lehenga, but with a chenny sort of twist to it. So I'm really happy with the design and I actually feel very comfortable when wearing it. I cannot wait to wear it to the wedding. I'm so excited! I hope you enjoyed this journey with me. And please drop a comment, let me know what you think of the video and what other videos you would like to see in the future. Thank you for watching and see you next time!